Good evening. Welcome to a new episode of the House Beyond the Supernatural podcast. We're a real play podcast playing games such as Rifts, Beyond Supernatural, Ghostbusters, and even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So if you like what you hear, go out and check out our Patreon page and give us a donation. And don't forget, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Good evening and welcome to the House Beyond the Supernatural podcast, the podcast that goes beyond the supernatural. All music comes from verse 13, Shadow Symphony, and Public Domain. All printing for the podcast is provided by Rainbow Press of Omaha, Nebraska. More details about this podcast can be found on houseofbts.net. Tonight's cast includes John, the genius and archaeologist, played by Arnie; Peter, the parapsychologist, played by Nick; Cass, the psychic medium and astrophysicist, played by Kurt; and the host of the House of BTS as the Game Master.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the podcast.
Hey.
We got Steve here, we got Nick, got Arnie, and we got this guy right here.
Kirk! What's up, everybody?
Holy cow. Kirk was off the Richter scale on that one.
I'm just so excited to be here.
Wow, don't lose that enthusiasm, Kirk.
Yeah.
You got really big dice.
Thank you. That's what all the ladies say.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I found these at games are huge. Huge D20s.
Why, yes. Yes, they are.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome to stare.
You can stare at my big dice.
So last episode we left off, the group was in the conference room and they were all working on a case file together. When Dr. Smythe got a call on his cell phone, and he got a tip off from a friend of his who works at Seattle PD, who stated that that an eyewitness saw what he described as a monster prowling around the Elliott Bay area. And based on what it reads in the report, according to Dr. Smythe, he says he believes that it sounds like a malignus. Which, is anyone going to ask?
What is a malignus?
Yeah, what is a malignus?
I'm going to roll. Missed it by 2.
Missed it by 2. Sounds familiar, but not entirely.
I would also like to do a demon and monster roll, please.
You may.
Hey, if I don't know.
I got a 25, so I'm well in the range.
Well, oddly enough, while the good Dr. Corrigan's not entirely, it rings a bell, but he must have missed that day in class, or skipped over that particular chapter of the book, or maybe he was drinking that night. It's hard to say. But what we do know is somehow Cass over here is familiar enough with them to know what they are. Which Cass is more than happy to describe that a malignus is a type of monster that resembles a monstrous deformed scorpion. To which
what you talking about, Willis?
To which Edmund goes into as John is not entirely familiar with all the supernatural as of yet. One of the things I would like to bring up is, well, and this also certainly goes for for Peter here as well, that as you know, most beings that most of the supernatural that enters our dimension has to do so by anchoring itself to something in some shape or form, and well, that's no different than with a malignus. And what they do, it begins as an energy being, and that when it enters Earth, it can assume a physical form in our world as a horrific insect monstrosity, and to do so, the being possesses an insect. Most commonly, I've seen mosquitoes being a most common attribute with this, but the point is, once they will infect an insect of some sort, and within a matter of hours, they transform these tiny harmless bugs into gruesome giants the size of a horse. They are known for their tail, and for which has a wicked lightning-fast stinger, that, as I recall, secretes a sort of paralyzing toxin, and its mouth is a gristly appendage with a 3-foot-long tongue. Around the mouth trunk, from what I last recall, are generally a couple of dozen eye stalks that, well, frankly, makes it impossible to catch the things unaware. They have other attributes as well, such as crawling like insects up walls and ceilings and such, but but they're also deceptively quiet, and they can be pretty potent. They're pretty potent at ambushing individuals if caught unaware. If there's any lucky benefit to this, these are solitary hunters. So if we're going into the neighborhood to hunt, and I suggest we do, should we find one, we should only find one. So that's the good news there, gentlemen. The downside of this, those of you I'm sure are familiar enough with Elliott Bay, that it's a pretty particular traffic heavy place. Even and we're going to be going out in public. We're going to have to be especially careful about what tools and things that we're going to be carrying in the field tonight. So, gentlemen, the first thing you decide is if you're going to take separate vehicles or if you're going together in the Demon Knight, which, as a reminder, is the giant utility van that Edmund uses for investigations.
What do you say? We want to ride together?
Yeah.
I think it would be a wise and safe decision to do so.
Yeah, we only want one car to get towed this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want John on point for this one, so we can keep an eye on him. There's
You
something.
guys.
There's something weird going on.
But I have one question, Cass. So,
Yes, sir.
So this Malignus,
Yes.
does it have any weaknesses? You know, like those ghouls only had, like, the bone weakness?
That's a really good question.
Because I don't want to carry around bone knives if we're going to go fight a giant scorpion.
Roll a percentage on that, if you would, my good man. I'm giving you a 10% bonus, being as you had your previous roll was good.
That'd be a 61.
And what's your number?
70.
Oh, so 10% wasn't necessary for you. Your demon monster is particularly high. That's nice. Right? I guess I helped you design that sheet, and I forgot. I was like, hey, he knows his
She
shit.
just made up a number.
I'll give him 71.
92?
What the hell? 92 and a third. Well, being as he's in the know, he is happy to let you all know that it's, actually I'm double checking now, but I believe they are actually vulnerable to all forms of damage. Yeah, they are invulnerable to energy, magic, and psychic attacks. So there really isn't any invulnerabilities besides the fact that getting stung by their tail releases a paralyzing agent, or in a matter of moments you'll go numb and you'll be helpless, which is usually when they'll begin to feed on you while you're still alive. Comforting thought.
That sounds fun.
Pretty serious stuff, huh, Peter?
Okay, let's load up the bear. I'm not going to go out here just with a baseball bat.
Well, you got to remember, Doc. Can I call you Little C?
How about Peter? Little C. It's a pizza place, isn't it?
For you local Omaha folks, you'll get that reference. For anyone else, probably not.
We don't want any unwanted attention from the authorities.
I'm not saying firearms, man. I'm just saying something bigger than a bat. That'll work. Got a 10-foot pole?
Well, let's go to the supply room.
All right, let's go.
Dr. Smythe, are you sure you're up for this? I think I could probably lead the group if you wanted to stay here and rest.
Oh.
I appreciate that, but it is my responsibility to at least be there. Yeah, more than likely, I won't lead the side of the van. I'll have to leave you to do the legwork, unfortunately. But I will be there for any advice or questions and answering that you may have. But yeah,
Is there something wrong, Cass?
No, but certainly, the armory. Let's see what we have for more concealable materials to bring in. As a reminder, the Elliott Bay is part of the central basin region of the Puget Sound that extends southwards between West Point in the north and Alki Point in the south. Most Seattleites know that Seattle was founded on this body of water in the 1850s and has since grown to encompass it entirely. The waterway it provides to the Pacific Ocean has served as a key element of the city's economy, enabling the Port of Seattle to become one of the busiest ports in the United States. Piers, cruise ships, water taxis, marinas, public parks, and public fishing piers Dive sites, docks, motels, apartment buildings, the Seattle Aquarium, the Great Wheel, and more all make up this iconic seaport area. But you're not going for the sightseeing. Tonight you are monster hunting. And now that you're deciding how to prepare and get there, it sounds like we're all taking the Demon Knight and understanding that you're likely going to be out in public. Yeah, what gear will you be taking? With you when you're on foot? This is our next important question. Well, fair enough. We will start with Dr. Corrigan and counterclockwise this. Corrigan, you are our parapsychologist. You have a firm grasp of how all this works. What are you going to be taking into the field in public?
While you guys are looking, I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to carry what I normally carry, which is not always visible and not,
Nothing.
Obvious to the other players or anything like that. But I have a leather anti-theft laptop case that has a great laptop in it. I normally carry my primary cellular phone and a couple of burner phones too. A soft leather pair of gloves, a multi-tool, a 3.25-inch folding knife, so as not to be a concealed weapon. A thumb drive on a keychain, a small flashlight, a lockpick set hidden in my billfold, a scarf, a bandana, a stocking cap, probably, like in my laptop case, maybe in my pocket, sunglasses, and I keep a tarot deck in my laptop case. The other things I'll be taking is I'll take my adventure bag, my backpack, which I usually keep in the trunk of my car. It's got some things. It's got some work gloves. I'm going to put on the hiking boots that I leave in the back in the car. It's got water bottles. It's got bug spray, latex gloves, scissors, sunscreen, paracord, a basic toolkit, an emergency blanket, salt, chalk, a hunting knife, a first aid kit, a small one. Now this is kind of a larger backpack. It's not a small one. It's got a duct tape, rain poncho, towel, matches, a Bic lighter, utility blade, zip ties, safety goggles, a whistle, a surgical mask, flares, large flashlight, a couple of bottled waters, some basic archaeology tools, a blank journal, a pen, pencil, charcoal, a Boy Scout backpack leader top, folded down at the bottom.
Anything else?
I think I'm also going to bring a couple things and not necessarily use them, but I'm probably going to bring an orange reflective vest, my Puget Sound Energy work jacket, and a hard hat.
That was very thorough. Nice work over there. How about you, Dr. Corrigan?
I'm going to bring the oddball, another pair of gloves, my smartphone, pocket tape recorder, pen flashlight, notepad, pen, scientific calculator, and a duffel bag, which contains a high-quality waterproof digital camera, large flashlight, 3 radio phones, notebook, 2 pens, binoculars, magnifying glass, small umbrella, because it is Seattle, digital recorder, and a set of brass dowsing rods. And my sweet, sweet hammer. My sweet, sweet Dead-On Annihilation Super Hammer.
Coincidentally, the Dead-On Annihilator Super Hammer is in the gear section on the website, for those of you curious what he's talking about. All statted out nicely. And how about yourself, Cass?
Well, since I am former military, in my backpack...
You're an astrophysicist. That doesn't count.
My crowbar, my smartphone, my scientific calculator, pocket notebook, 4 pens, and my Beretta and shoulder holster.
Silencer for that?
I can make one.
Just get the 2-liter. John's got
That's
one.
right. That's right. I can use the water bottle.
Actually,
Learn that from the Punisher comics.
you could read watch some videos on oil filter silencers. They're very interesting.
I have not heard of these.
Oh yeah, you can get an adapter. It'll screw right onto a firearm. It's an oil
No kidding.
filter. Yeah.
Hmm.
And actually, you can buy many kits to turn. You could easily turn. They make baffles and threaded ends for mag lights, or you can turn your mag lights into silencers. Now, owning a silencer requires a lot of paperwork and legalities, so just don't go make some silencers. I've never tried. I don't need one.
I didn't want to be the one to ask that question, because I wasn't sure I want to know the answer.
It's good to know, John.
And I'm also going to be bringing a compass.
Sounds like everyone's got their trinkets and weaponries that they'll
However,
or lack
I'm
of
not
weaponry. Oh, you're not done.
No, we need to go check out this storage room. What do we got in the armory, the arsenal? Do they have any silencers here?
That they would not have.
We need to work on that.
We-
Being
Being as we are not a military outfit per se.
If you made it worth my while, I could probably
By worth your while, what do you mean, John?
Well, I mean, it's not going to happen for free. I mean, save your pennies. I don't know if you have a job or can hold a job.
You give me a price, I'll see if I can come up with it.
I'll see if I can, I'll see what I can find out. Seriously, you need anything at all.
You know a guy?
I'll find it.
Getting back to John's question, yeah, the supply area, as far as what kind of weaponry they contain there, is generally a lot of the unique, specialized weapons, like the bone shivs and items plated in copper, and various unique tools needed to hunt down particular type of supernatural monsters. But there is a few of the more common selections, such as an assortment of like knives, baseball bats, or in some case like actual like tonfa fighting sticks, and more combat savvy wooden weapons, as well as like more of the common handguns from like 6-shooters, and some of the more common 9mm, and some common 12 gauge shotguns, a couple of hunting rifles. Yeah,
any AR-15s?
There is no AR-15s in the locker.
How about M4?
Have not been asked that question specifically, but probably not. Yeah, no. There's always that weird, random, rare chance.
Do you have any shorter shotguns?
You know what? There'll probably be like one of those.
Concealable wise.
I see. You're probably thinking like one of those Ithaca stakeout shotgun types
with a short barrel.
You would be in luck. There happens to be one. The dice have spoken. There is one short Ithaca shotgun.
Nonchalantly put on my soft leather gloves and grab the shotgun.
I'll have to look up the damage for that.
Hey, Cass, is this any good for what we're doing? Take a look.
I could do some damage with this.
Well, if I drop it, thanks. If I drop it, you're more than welcome to, use it.
I'm going to pick up, what kind of knives we got?
Knives, there is a whole various assortment of them, from more common, everything from more or less like small dagger types, all the way up to survival knife types.
Silver swords?
I'm going to take a survival knife.
There would be a couple of swords that have been silver coated, yes, because we do deal with the undead periodically. So yes, he does have a few of those.
Not today.
Inside joke.
Apparently, because I feel like I'm missing something.
Silver swords.
Me too.
They're not really silver. It's a name brand. It's called Silver Sword.
We're having an argument once that if a Githyanki silver sword was a silver sword, and somebody says, "Oh, well, it's called a silver sword because it cuts the silver cord." However, in the description of the weapon, it specifically states, "This is a silver sword."
That's
just referring to the color. I'm sorry, silver swords in D&D say silver swords. Githyanki Silver Sword says, and I quote, "a silver sword."
I was not aware of any of this, and that sounds very, just
It's a
very
silver
unprofessional.
Sword. It's a silver sword. I think we're all in agreement. Everybody listening, we're all in agreement.
Well, certainly, if it is the name brand says it's a silver sword, but is it a silver sword?
A silver sword.
Then it would be a silver sword.
A lowercase s silver sword.
The lowercase, that speaks volumes right there. Interesting. I was not aware of any of this.
So simple.
I had no idea. I will leave this room a wiser man now. Since you were asking, a stakeout Ithaca shotgun does, what's this here? Has a 5-round tubular mag. And what is the damage in that? It would be 46 for buckshot.
I'm gonna grab a survival knife there.
And yes, there is a couple different types of scatter shot for various different types of monsters in there, but you'll just need the standard tonight.
Hey, Kirk, did you just get your fingerprints all over my shotgun?
Who's Kirk?
saying that out of character. This is me.
Maybe.
I'm gonna go rob a fucking gas station. We'll never see gas again.
Little do you know, they burned off his fingerprints in this.
In the sanitarium. I don't have fingerprints anymore.
Or was that why he ended up in the sanitarium?
I was tortured, remember?
After seeing the
POW.
movie Seven, he was inspired to burn off his fingerprints.
What's in the box?
That was good. This game's progressing in some strange directions.
You just
suddenly.
keep that lust scenario to yourself. Alright, so I'm gonna grab that gun and a pocket full of shells.
Get a pocket full of shells! We are products of our 90s environment, everyone. I don't think Arnie and I have done that in 20 years. But there it was. Right there waiting for us 20 years later, like an old friend.
What is it made out of? Shit.
Salt.
Yeah, it's a Qdoba.
Nick was making a really disgusting face as he was eating his burrito.
So we're still in the weapon locker and extra gear section for those asking. So yeah, there are knives of various sizes from
Now,
stiletto up to survival.
I'm going to grab a survival knife. I was trained.
You're not gonna have an episode?
No. Not unless you piss me off.
Whoa, are you looking at me?
You look like you were looking.
I know. I was waiting to hear what he was going to say next. Unless you piss me off, you don't want me to have one of my attacks, do you? That's what I'm starting to hear over here. I was like, whoa, where do I go with that? I say, I think Dr. Smythe is. Perhaps I should schedule you a session in the near future. You seem awfully anxious and if not agitated.
I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's all good. Yep. Just fine here.
Don't forget group next week.
Yeah.
But if you're not, if next week seems so far away, as mentioned, I am a retired psychologist. I can't sit down with you almost at a moment's notice. I really can.
Once you get in my head, there's no going back.
We'll put a pin in this for later. Right now, we have more urgent matters to attend to. We have a Malignus walking the Elliott Bay area. Any other weapons or items or gear of particulars that you're willing to carry out with you guys in public? It's a fair point, too. Obviously, there is a growing number of giant hobo spiders in the city.
Oh shit, we're going after that.
We're going to Cunnilingus.
Manalingus. Not the hobo spiders. Damn it! Get my mobs.
Gentlemen.
I get my insectoid monsters messed up sometimes.
Well, there are numerous. Anything else of particular request or concern before we start loading into the demon night and
I need a
heading
smoke grenade. Do you have any smoke grenades?
Is there a smoke grenade? It's possible. He opens up a case that should have smoke grenades in it, but opening the case, it is empty. Just a bunch of hollow sections where smoke grenades be. He's like, I didn't realize these had been emptied.
He gave you smoke bombs.
But you're in luck. I went to the fireworks stand recently, and I picked you up some of these.
You have some snakes and snap pops? Can I have a sparkler?
So no, unfortunately, there are no smoke grenades to be offered. But he promises he will. He'll see about getting those refilled as soon as possible, because there are times those will outright save your life.
All right, let's roll. Cash, you gonna drive?
Yeah, sure.
One of the things you're good at.
It is recommended somebody with a decent pilot
We
automobile
want to
would be
encourage you to utilize your skills. It's a positive outlet for your aggression. No road rage, though.
Are you
Okay,
sure you
keep
want
it
to be
simple.
behind the wheel?
We're here to support you and to keep you level, man.
I don't like this new John. He's starting to piss me off. Alright, I will drive.
into the van, Dr. Smythe?
Oh no, that won't be necessary. But thank you.
Cass takes out his survival knife.
What are you doing with your survival knife over here, Cass GM?
Nothing.
We're going in the public, so I have to pay particular attention to what you say now.
What's the weather like outside?
Weather, using the percentage as my ruling factor with these, and then one day I'm actually going to write these down. Let's see. It has been light drizzles on and off tonight. Currently, it's off.
It's the drizzling shits.
Who's driving the Demon Knight?
I will drive the Demon Knight.
I'm going to need you to make 2 out of 3 rolls under pilot automobile to keep it successful.
What's my pilot?
Nope.
Wow, it would help if you weren't rolling an 8-sided for that other.
That's true. Grab the wrong dice.
Whoa!
No! We're all gonna die.
All right, Cass, move over. Move over. I got it.
All right. Peter's got it.
He stalled it. It's flooded. What are you talking about?
Yep. 2 out of 3 are good. Get out of the seat.
Garage door.
You're out of here.
I'm really glad that you
Stripped
happen
the
to have
trim.
this book
You
here
screwed up the
because it happens to have
Clutch.
info on how failed driving rolls play out.
He couldn't get the key in the ignition.
Oh no,
I don't have insurance.
that I would
man.
not require him to have a skill for. But this, the actual driving part, he does.
What did you do to us?
Looks like we're
about
taking
to
my
find
car.
out.
Boy, you're probably never going to be able to be
If-
allowed to drive with the group again.
If we don't outright, end up in the hospital. Let's see here.
It's going to be a quick adventure. We'll spend the next 3 weeks in the hospital. You took out what's her name on the way out. She was coming back with some more coffee.
No, Kendra, no!
Dun, dun. Oh my God! What do we do? We put her body in the desert. Oh my God!
I think I loved her.
Pull out of here like a bat in a hell. You sideswipe Peter's car.
Sorry, Peter.
Mine's a rental. I don't care.
I just paid that off.
All right, would you roll percentage for me, please? I'm going to have you determine the fate of what happened.
What did you do?
28.
28.
28.
I got a feeling the high ones would probably be worse.
Holy crap! I don't know
We're
what. I'm
not.
going to say you must have.
What did you do?
I'm going to say it looks like at some point he must have drove us straight into a wall because that's the only explanation. On our way there, because you had 0 out of 3 successful rolls, so it had to be something bad. You hit the wall, or hit a brick wall of one of the buildings on the way there in the industrial area, as this is what we're in the middle of.
Why are you driving like psycho?
And after we all
Got
crashed,
triggered by something on the side of the road or what?
Sit back and shut up. We're gonna get there quick.
each one of us takes 3 STC damage for the shaking about. And as we're all stunned and what happened? Well, yeah,
I think Dr. Smythe has osteoporosis. You're gonna kill him.
Dr. Smythe, is
He's gonna have a heart attack.
and he looks particularly angry as you look in the rearview mirror. But that's the least of your problems because the control panel inside the crew compartment catches on fire.
Oh, Jesus!
Smoke begins belching out from the from the electrical system.
What have you done? You destroyed his named vehicle.
And Dr. Smythe is telling everyone.
Somewhere.
I do. I guess that's.
Give Cass dies
Which
in
I
the
think those
explosion.
stats might actually be on the website, which may need to be removed after this.
Jeez. Maybe Dr. Baldwin will donate the first Odin's nut.
Dr. Baldwin is a reference to another one of Arnie's characters played in the same setting.
Look at that. It's got a protective sleeve and everything.
Did they happen to have a couple of fire extinguishers in the list? I don't know if we do.
If it's registered as a commercial vehicle, it probably would have one.
Which it is not.
Alright.
We're screwed.
This is a personal vehicle
Anybody got
that's
any,
used
I
for
don't
this
have a fire
purpose.
extinguisher.
I'm gonna use my chemistry skill to make a fire
I
extinguisher.
got a lighter.
Well, we have extra batteries, some sleeping bags, mag lights, ponchos, 12-hour light sticks, rope,
Alright, let's get everybody out of the car.
pry bar, bolt cutters, a pair of backup knives, and
Who knows
whatnot.
first
but
aid that can attend to Dr. Smythe?
But no fire extinguishers, so
Are you a
Smythe is
doctor?
telling everyone to get out of the van.
I was too selfish to take a first aid.
Cold-blooded over there, Cass. You are cold-blooded.
Sounds like
So
my
now we're
buddy
all
old
standing
John.
outside of the Demon Knight, watching all
Great.
the smoke bellowing out of the open windows.
Let's call the fire department.
Like
Let
a
them
good
show up here
neighbor.
and ask us why we've got shotguns underneath our coats.
You stay here. We'll take your equipment. You call the fire department.
Dr. Smythe is actually staring at the vehicle like he's just not sure what to think.
Neither am I.
I got my stuff. That's all. And Dr. Smythe out. That's what's important. And we're all safe.
Let's call a lift. Leave you here.
We got anything else?
Bye.
To get out of there?
I'll still beat you there. Damn
Well,
lift
there
driver
are-
won't
there
be
are
able to
some
find the place.
Businesses around
There
here?
are some protective it's the industrial section, so pretty much everything's closed for the night. Yeah, the warehouse is kind of nestled right into all the industrial.
How far did we get?
Well, being as he had 0 out of 3-year-olds,
10 feet.
You hit
probably not very far.
You hit
Couldn't
the door
even-
backing up.
No, it is not our building. It looks like, yeah. All right.
I called Kendra.
We were about 1.5 miles from the warehouse.
He was kind to me.
I'm gonna
Maybe
call,
you should
Well,
call.
that was dice rolls. In my head, yeah, I would have put you farther, but
I'm gonna call Kendra. Hey,
yeah,
Kendra.
She's like,
It's Peter.
Is this, yeah.
Yeah,
What's the matter?
Cass got us in an accident, and we need a fire extinguisher.
What?
We're right here.
I think my neck hurts.
What? Maybe you should call the fire department.
Yeah, too many weapons. We need a fire extinguisher.
All right. Where are you at?
I'll tell her the address. We're 1.5 miles up the street.
She's all right. We got a few extinguishers in the warehouse. I'll get there as fast as I can.
All right, thanks. Done.
Looking a little frayed. And that wonderful vintage hairstyle she had going for her is nice and wrecked by the time she shows up in such a hurry. But she has 5 or 6 extinguishers in the back of her vehicle. You guys all distribute and start hosing down the electrical panel.
Get hosing
Anybody have
gas.
fire extinguisher use as a skill?
There is, that I will not require a roll for.
All right. I'll start using a fire extinguisher.
No, you stay away from the car.
Pull, aim.
Coincidentally, anyone who's listening locally and is a fan of the show, as the GM, I would like to let you all know that as a public transportation driver himself, he is far more responsible in real life than his character is. I would like to point that out.
Driving the group again.
I wanted
you
you
might
guys
get
to
a
know
new
Kirk
nickname,
is a much
Crash.
safer driver than his character.
Hey, Crash.
Cass can't drive for nothing, but I'm pretty good. Okay.
You can ride with confidence with Kirk. All right.
Crash? No, that's too wrestler-like. I think Crash.
I think Cass is just short for Crash.
Hey, Crash.
What?
All
Yeah,
right,
all right.
that's gonna
Yeah.
fit.
Crash.
Might as well just cross Cass out off on your name sheet.
Are they? Well, hey, you got a nickname section that's
Crash.
empty right there. I think Crash will fill in nicely there.
We have a lot of nicknames.
Here's dumb shit, John. You keep talking, I'm gonna blow your brains out.
Whoa!
We're all friends here. Come on.
Edmund, at some point, stands close enough to you. He states, tomorrow afternoon, I would really seriously like to have a discussion with you. For both, for professionally and concerning, the future of the van here.
Okay. I feel like a little kid who's going to the principal's office.
It's not your fault you're a crappy driver.
And the GM would like to remind everyone that this is precisely why I'm such a slave to the dice, because sometimes, when you let it happen, you just never know where the story's going to go. We just went from planning to hunting a Malignus to now we had to deal with putting a van out that was on fire.
All right, let's go get a vehicle.
I'll go back with Kendra and get my truck.
I'm not driving this
No,
time.
you're not.
No, you're not.
I did 3 good rolls. You're fine. Just sit in the back. In the back, like 3rd row. You're not getting near the driver.
You don't gotta be such an asshole, Peter.
That's who I am, man. Just get
I
in the
will
back seat.
blow your brains out too.
You gotta catch me first.
Don't worry.
I'm pretty fast.
Catch your scrawny ass.
Mr. Sarajeff, I honestly think that you should listen to
Do your
him on this
breathing.
one.
Do your breathing.
Deep breaths there. Crash.
Got a long memory, you asshole.
My plan is backfired.
Your spirit guide is standing next to you silently, just kind of shaking his head like he can't believe what he's seeing right now. He's been silent this whole time, but he has been shaking his head.
This ghost head. Which head?
Your spirit guide is shaking his head unbelievably at you. Cass, all I know is that they're suggesting you never pilot that vehicle again, and frankly, I'm inclined to agree with them.
Alright, so 3rd row for Cass? Alright. Alright.
What are we taking? Your car?
Yep.
Coincidentally, that 3rd row with the Durango, with my wife, the third seat's usually where the kids and the dogs go. So take that for what it's worth.
What kind of vehicle is this?
I got a Pathfinder.
Is that a big one?
Oh yeah.
Wait, does Pathfinder have 3 seats? Now it does?
Yes, it does.
I don't know. I never used it
I'm
before.
pretty sure it. Yeah, you don't use it.
He's been living in the warehouse for 3 weeks.
All right, yeah. Get in.
Kendra will take you
Kendra,
back.
get in.
We'll
You gotta-
take you back to
Oh.
Kendra is obviously is not going. No, I'm not going anywhere with you guys.
That's probably a good idea.
Because you smell like a sex offender. Probably.
What?
Just put that out
What
there.
part of me looks like a sex offender?
Well,
Everything.
Giant eyeball hat?
you certainly smell like melted plastic and wiring from from your vehicle earlier. It's fair bringing that up.
Oh, I guess that means I'm a sex offender because somebody got in a car accident.
I don't know how it happened, but after the car accident, I became a sex offender.
I don't know. These guys.
This is the story of how it happened. I didn't realize that it was even happening till after it happened. I was so naive then. Whoa, that sounded almost kind of sincere.
All right, guys. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it together. Let's huddle.
Tighten it up.
Let's get back into the square. Come on.
Don't touch me, John.
Okay.
I was just trying to calm you down, man. We're getting off on a tangent.
Hey,
All
let's
right,
get this
so-
shit going. Come
Let's
on.
go, Peter.
Let's go.
I got faith in you.
Let's-
You can drive.
I did
Right.
try.
Everyone's
You can
loaded
do
into
it.
the Pathfinder.
Oh yeah, I think
You can do it.
John, on the or Dr. Smythe, on the other hand, is going to need to stay in there and get a tow truck and whatnot done. But he states that he will be home and stay in cell phone reach with you guys as needed. He's going to have to figure out how he's going to have to get the vehicle towed somewhere and get it repaired. Not a complete loss, but he says it'll probably always smell of smoke now.
Good job, Cash.
Cash.
Crash.
Good job,
Good
Cash.
job, Crash.
So Smythe and Kendra are staying behind on this one. So now it's just the 3 of you.
Let's do it.
See your best out of 3 driving rolls.
I just did it.
Oh, you got to do that again, buddy.
Yeah, do it now.
Those were out.
I
Yeah,
didn't see
nope.
you roll.
Nope.
I didn't ask you to roll. I didn't know.
What do you got there?
Unless the GM asks, the rolls do not count.
That's a 64 out of 66.
Oh, close.
Getting close.
75. And a 66. Woo!
I'm driving
It's 2 out of
next
3.
time.
We get there. It's not exactly the most comfortable ride, but we get there.
No, it's not a comfortable ride, but you're there in one
He
piece.
pissed me off.
And nothing's on fire in the vehicle when you get there.
Not yet.
Night's still young.
I'm pretty sure a crash will do something like that.
I'm gonna set it on fire when we get out of it.
I'm gonna put something in my tailpipe.
Just because you pissed me off, I'm gonna set the fucker on fire.
Roll percentage for that, Cass.
Just-
It's- GM is allowed to take literal interpretation of what you say. Just
Yeah,
throwing
that's-
that out there.
They're gonna find Peter's body in a fucking dumpster somewhere.
I want to report this guy for assault, please.
He has not assaulted you yet.
Not yet.
But
What's
he
gonna
will! I am pre. I'm turning him in
I'm
pre.
recording all this.
Because it's gonna happen. I feel it. I'm not a medium. I'm not a psychic, but I feel it. It's gonna happen. Well, welcome finally to the Elliott Bay area of Seattle.
Oh, it took us like 45 minutes.
Keep talking your shit there, buddy. Keep talking your shit.
It took us like an hour. Literally.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah. We got a half hour. We can salvage something.
All right,
out of
I'm
that,
going to put
maybe.
on my hard hat, my reflective vest, and my utility worker jacket.
You have a
I'm gonna
disguise skill
nestle-
by chance?
Well, yeah.
Awesome. Let's roll that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a 10% bonus for coming in prepared.
34 out of 55.
You look like you know how to walk the walk and talk the talk. People would have to be extremely suspicious for you to be standing out at this point. These two traveling with you might be something else entirely, but
Yeah.
No,
I was just
nothing
trying to
can
find the
spend-
gas
he was
lights
trying
and
to-
I ran into these two psychopaths
I
having
was like-
unprotected sex behind a tree. I said, hey, you guys can't do that here. Yeah, okay, I got a cover story. We're cool. You know what? They're gonna.
I never saw things like this at Con Edison back home. New York power reference there.
Nothing says blending in like a giant eyeball on someone's head.
I saw these pervs going at each other under a bridge.
And look at that one right there. Look at that helmet. You know he ain't right in the head. All right, the oddballs are out with the one guy who looks like he should be there. Actually, Cass, what are you even dressed in right now? That's a fair question since we're out in public.
Like the
Yeah, I'm in,
the hospital gown you broke out
I'm
of.
in, I'm in some jeans, t-shirt, and a leather jacket.
I figured you more for like a denim jacket with jeans type of guy with like a denim shirt.
Nah.
All right. Figure that with probably more what you're comfortable with.
We're all friends here. Whatever you're into, man, I don't judge. Just saying.
I saw these perverts trying to rape a duck by the pond. They both had their little peckers in their hand, chasing the duck around. It was the craziest thing. The duck was scared.
That's when the police realized you were lying because there are geese in this pond, no ducks. I have a diet.
What am I, a wildlife expert? I don't know a geese from a duck. I'm not from here.
Yes. There, coincidentally, there are also sea lions are in the Elliott Bay area,
Well, I don't want to see that. I don't
And-
even want to see that.
and a lot of salmon. That's my understanding.
That's a Led Zeppelin thing.
You lost me on that one. Okay. So Led Zeppelin reference aside, whatever this thing was up to, it's now had 45 minutes to move on us. If we're gonna have any hope of finding this thing tonight, we're gonna have to get some clever tracking in.
Do your little ghost friends tell you where it's at, Crash?
Well, it isn't a ghost. And it isn't undead. So no!
I'm going to try my dowsing rods. It's going to point to water because we're in freaking Seattle. Hey, there's the ocean. There's the ocean. There's...
Lower paranormal psionics, please. As I don't know if or do you, unless you have that rare diviner skill, which I don't think you took.
Nope.
Well, don't take it so hard because I probably would have had a penalty on this one anyway. That particular trail would gone cold.
These
That
skills
being
aren't mine.
said, it might be time for.
What was you looking for?
I was hoping you had a printed copy.
No, I had to change my sheet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we need to get you updated. Do you have the name of your guy? Did you put it on the? Wow, you wrote the whole damn thing down on a new sheet. You could have
Giles Wardwell.
You could have just highlighted notes for level 2, and I'd have done it later. You don't have to write out everything, but that's impressive.
I was bored. I had 3 weeks.
You must have been bored because you like completely wrote out by hand something I had on the electric PDF for you. I'm rather impressed.
I was bored.
You must have been. So Giles, being as John brought it up, and it seems to have slipped your mind. That Giles states that's not entirely true. You do have a method of tracking. To which I will refer you to page.
Shut up, Giles.
For everyone that's listening at home, I can refer you on to the page in particular would be 87. If you would take a look at the olfactory omens of the supernatural, that will you can actually use your olfactory senses as a way of not necessarily even tracking, but at least getting yourself knowing that you're on the right track of looking for something. So to do that, you would spend the let's see here. You would need to spend the ISP for it in this case. Or no, hold on.
There is no ISP.
This is one of the freebies. You just have to actually be in the area.
Okay, do I smell anything?
Currently, you are not smelling anything of a phantom olfactory omen, so you guys will probably want to wander about a bit. Making guesstimates where you think, where could a large creature go in such a place.
Walking around sniffing the air or what?
Pretty much, that's exactly what he'll be doing.
I'm going to try to force out some gas.
Jesus. Percentage roll, please.
Staring at him. Direct eye-to-eye contact. 80.
You might be trying, as I say, if you try any harder, you're probably going to. If you'd have rolled any higher, I'm thinking, you would. That's
because I didn't need anything from Waffle House.
If you had asked for Waffle House food, I would have given you I would have given you a very good bonus percentage roll. But since you did not, I'm afraid I have to let that roll stand. You try, but you got nothing.
Darn it!
Curse you and your healthy eating habits.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk around a bit, trying to see if I can smell anything.
Dr. Corrigan, Peter, John, and Cass. Now, apparently, the artist formerly known as Cash.
It's Crash.
Sounds to be the where the sign of where things are going here.
Crash.
The three of you will need to think and discuss. If you were a monster, where would you hide in such a place? Even at night, this is a fairly active area.
Well, I can think of like 2 places. In one of these buildings, or in the sewer.
That's what I thought. We thought the sewer as well.
Well, you guys will need to find a quiet area you can get into sewer access. See if you'll get lucky down there.
Good thing we got old John here.
Yeah.
Hey, you got any sewer worker stuff in your bag?
What do it look like? Pandora's box?
Yeah?
You're carrying everything under the sun. Now he's going to become unhelpful because we're
dark outside,
we're in
right?
the mission now.
Oh yeah, it is 3 o'clock in the a.m. and
we don't need it.
It is slightly misty.
You got that hammer or a pry bar or something? Let's just find a dark.
All right, let's try to
I
find
think
one.
we're cool.
All
Maybe
right.
there's an underpass or a storm drain. We're by the Puget Sound, right?
Oh,
if
absolutely.
This is a lake or a body of water. There's probably some storm drains that vent out of here that are fairly large diameter. Probably something we can walk into. If we just walk around, we might be able to find something.
This is why I ask you guys to put your heads together, because that's a good idea.
Probably some sort of kids have busted into it somehow. There's got to be some entrances that are covered in. We'll just look for the graffiti.
All right.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
John's leading the way.
Almost sounds like John's done this before, because he is spot on. There are several aqueducts and storm drains and what have you that as again, yes, that would lead out to the sound because the sound leads out to the ocean. And yes, you do find one where there should be a set of bars, but it looks like there is a rusted what kind of looks like a panel of bars that probably were hanging there at one point, but somebody has since taken a wrench to all the bolts and removed it, so the hole just stands open, just a gate for anyone to enter.
You smell anything here?
Well, you are smelling lots of things.
Smell with your elven nose.
Your bad breath.
As he smells around. Is that you?
What did you eat? Good God.
It is dark and foreboding looking, if not a little ominous, and looking inside looking down the dark tunnel here. Are you all progressing in?
Yeah. Let's go, guys.
Who's going first?
I'll take first.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I will. Helmet goes on.
Teacher's pet.
Helmet is going on.
Light goes on. I'm going.
All right. I'm going to...
Taking a second for your HUD display and such to kick in, you are now getting night sight.
Duct tape
Oh, that's better.
my flashlight to the end of that
that's better.
Ithaca, and I'll proceed with the shotgun ready to roll with the flashlight taped to the end.
Very nice. This is the kind of ingenuity I look
Maybe
for.
zip ties. Zip ties actually would work better.
Work better than duct tape?
Yeah,
I suppose when the tape
definitely.
gets wet, it would.
Zip ties, man.
I had not ever. You never see that in the movies. It's always duct tape.
Yeah.
Or electrical tape. I see them do that a lot. Which, yeah, is weird because electrical tape kind of sucks. Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
Yeah, but zip ties, man. Zip ties.
I had never even considered zip ties. It's interesting, and I get you. Have you tried this before?
No, but I'm sure it'll work.
I was just say I was just curious
Ties are-
because I would imagine that probably would work.
You could probably put them on a gun, and if you were firing it too much, the gun would get hot. But I guess that would do the same thing with duct tape. Too.
Well,
So
depending
I
on
don't-
how
I don't
much-
know. I don't do that.
Now, say depending on how much duct tape you put on, maybe there would be another. Because in my opinion, or my only thoughts on,
You'd get it for self-refined mount for the light, and everything would be fine.
the light might wiggle a little under that, than as opposed to mummifying that thing to it with tape. But otherwise,
no, zip tie.
You
tie
think
would
so?
be more secure than tape. Definitely.
Interesting. Obviously I have far more experience with duct taping things than zip tying,
Big fan of zip ties.
which
I'll show you my collection someday.
which
It's in my
is
trunk.
why Arnie never had a problem finding women. He always just had a problem keeping them because they usually got out of the duct tape and ran to authorities. And then he discovered ties.
Hold still, hold still, hold still.
You need to zip tie fucking crash his arms together when he has a psychotic breakdown. Zip ties are going to come in handy.
Fair enough. Zip tie him down. He's having an attack. You're progressing into the sewers, hoping beyond hope that something is down here. Yeah, if you don't have one, get some sound effects of dripping sounds going on.
Got a
with this.
sewer sound effect.
Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. This would be a great place for it. You can edit that comment out if you want to sound smarter, like you did it. Like you did that for yourself, as opposed to me telling you. You can edit this. I don't mind.
Put a sewer right here.
Insert sewer effects.
And make sure my pack is closed up tight. Computer case is going to have to go next. There's no way I'm moving it in the car in the middle of the night.
It is what it is. It's here now. Nothing can be done about it but carry it about
In the backpack.
and potentially ruin it if you fall into the water. But we'll see what happens. It feels like at least a half a mile of walking around, looking and deciding which tunnel ways you'd like to go as we're getting to the point. But we're starting to get various tunnels. Give me a perception roll over here, Crash.
Nice. One time. Bullshit. 11.
Well, you also get to add in your perception for ghost spirit related in this case. Ooh, like a +5. Check the front and your special. Whoa! I think it's written there. You did handwrite all this down, so I would assume it was there.
Yep.
Yeah, +6 when it is spirit ghost related.
17.
Of which I would consider this, in this case, to be part of that. While you're trying your damnedest to separate any phantom sound smells you might come across from all the potpourri, the veritable potpourri of foul odors that you have to choose from down here. One of the things you do detect it, it's faint at first, but as you start following the scent, it is picking up. You are getting, in particular, a smell of what you would best describe as rotting human flesh.
You guys smell that? Kind of smells like a dead body.
I can't smell anything in this.
How about you, John? I'm getting like the faintest, like, it smells like somebody got killed.
Toast, you stroke now?
Okay.
So obviously nobody smells anything because Peter's got his helmet on. And John's just an asshole.
It just smells like a storm drain. It smells like stale water and rotting vegetation.
Where while you do smell those particular things as well, you do smell an olfactory omen. A supernatural omen is what you're beginning to detect there, and that is the smell that you have.
I think we're close, guys. I think we're close.
How do you know?
Because I can smell
Yeah, it stinks down
the
here.
dead body.
What's
How do you know it stinks? You have your helmet on, Peter.
I could smell it when we were outside.
Yeah, I know you didn't.
You can smell it walking up to it. All right, where are we going?
Sounds like they're following your lead now.
I guess
Cass.
I'm in the lead.
Cass takes us to the left, veering off the main
I'm
tunnel,
walking
taking
behind
a left.
Cass. I've got the shotgun.
What? Christ.
It's a fair point. I don't know if he has WP shotgun. I don't think he does.
Do you need my help, John? Is this your first time doing this? Jesus Christ. There. I took the safety off. Jesus. Just don't shoot me, or I'll come back to life and fucking kill you. I don't know how that would work, but it would just do it, okay?
It sounds to the GM like you're threatening to become the undead to come after him. That's
He has been scratched. It's possible. I'm a little worried.
He's going dual.
I'm going cool.
I'm going to step a couple more steps behind
he's a
him.
ghoul gone wild.
All right. Crash, lead the way.
You still worried about that, John?
Not.
No.
You should be.
I've seen a lot of shit. I'm not
Seen a
worried
lot of
about...
walking corpses.
Perception of Peter. These two are too busy bickering with one another.
12.
Perhaps it's because you're using your night vision to help, but you actually do spy in the muck ahead. You do see what looks like a lump roughly shape of a body. Human.
Told you.
You don't see it.
Tell me what?
You're bickering like married couples back there. Look what I found.
I can smell it.
Everyone, give me a fear factor roll. Add in, just a standard roll. Add in your horror factor bonuses again.
20.
9.
I rolled a 10.
Well, luckily the 9 is just enough, so it was on the low end of the spectrum. So none of you are you're alarmed, of course, to see a dead body here, but not freaking out.
Don't puke, John. Don't puke.
I'm gonna check her out, or him.
Oh,
You're making a groping motion with your hand. That was a little weird.
He's
I'm
like
gonna check
groping
her
his
out,
ass
and
or
you're like,
something.
got that
Checking
creamy
for a
hand
pulse, guys.
Feeling his
Has he
taint.
checks for a pulse?
Feeling his taint.
You know what, guys? Just stay back there.
As he
It's fine.
checks for the pulse, I'm coming up fast. I'm checking the
I
pockets.
bet you're coming fast.
I'm coming through her pockets.
I'm gonna check. Checking the pulse.
You perhaps not surprised to realize there is no pulse.
How long has it been down here, Nico?
That will require a forensics roll.
I don't have that.
Do you happen to have a crime scene
Crime scene.
investigation? Give that a go.
I got a 12 out of 50.
Well, you being as forensics is not your specialty, but giving a look over, you suspect that the body has been here, at least 2 days.
Any billfold?
Any kind of identification.
I'll check his pulse.
Oh, yeah. I
Well,
was checking
I'm
his
sure you
pants,
will.
I was
Say,
checking
already-
his pulse.
yeah, say,
Yeah, I hauled ass.
See,
man.
I thought you already did.
The GM did distinctly hear him call that out as you're checking his pulse. He was in a hurry to raid his pockets. Just say, I heard.
All right, John. Anything in his pockets?
John looking. You found various contents, including a dead cell phone, a set of keys, and a wallet.
All right, I'm going to pull out the keys. I'm going to jangle them a little so it's obvious with my left hand. And I'm going to do pickpockets with my right hand to casually get the billfold out and put it away so that they don't see.
You're gonna do a pickpocket roll. See if
Look,
they-
On a
shinies.
corpse, it should be fairly easy.
Well, it's more
Let's go
avoiding
down,
their
yeah, I got it.
perception. Yeah, the
Do I
corpse will
have,
get the corpse, aware of you thieving, it gets up angrily. Hey, just back off
Slide
there
it.
now, big shooter.
Ooh, 53 out of 55.
Oh, you successfully managed to swipe that puppy, so when the time comes, yeah, you can tell them that there is no wallet to find.
He's got keys. Oh, there's a phone.
And a dead cell phone.
I'll take the phone. I'll take it.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
You got it? All
You
right.
check his pulse. You
He's
sure he's
dead.
dead?
For like 2 days.
Body looks to be someone in their perhaps late teens, early 20s. Probably a college student, if you were to guess.
That's
Dead cell.
keys. Chester Copper.
Chata-ka-pa-pat. I said booby trap.
And he was a pro.
Maybe I should pick your pocket.
Perception roll over here for you, Crash.
I don't carry ID.
I was gonna take a couple of credit cards out in your name. Buy myself a stereo.
60, you say? Oh, I say, wow. I got a 60 for my perception roll.
Yeah, I got an 80-sided
Oh,
dice.
it's gonna go down in history.
A triple specialized.
Cass is like the most interesting interesting role player alive. He once rolled a 60 on a 20-sided.
16.
He once rolled a natural 20 on a 12-sided die. Because he's the most interesting role player alive. What the hell's... Oh yeah, perception. Your olfactory senses, as the smell of the rotting human flesh, olfactory smell dies out, bring you to the normal smell that this body currently has. You do pick up a new supernatural scent, or an olfactory omen scent, which specifically has a smell of the ocean to it, with a strong smell of salt in it. Wasn't me.
While he's doing that, how can I tell how the guy died?
Observing and carefully going over, it looks like he bled to death. It does not look like he was attacked here, but something had mauled at him with various claws raked across his front and back torso and his arms. It looks as if maybe he ran until he fell here and collapsed, and just bled out from where he was.
Well, very obviously, I'm going to pull out his Deuxvolt from my pocket, thumb through it, find an ID, flip it, look for the ID, and read his ID.
Oh, you did find something.
Yeah, I did.
Nice job.
He's so casual about the fact he lied to you.
I'm keeping this. I'm remembering this. It's good to have good old John back.
Yeah, the asshole. Not this ass kisser that we've had the whole episode.
God, I was just waiting for him to come back.
Yep.
All right, we're going with a couple of comments here. This would be a Paul McDonald. Age would be 21. You find both his driver's license as well as his student ID for the state of Washington University.
Yeah. Hello, college computer lab. Say that out loud.
Going over all this information, including his wallet, you're picking up your olfactory omens, and you're determining his cause of death. It's then somewhere echoing throughout all the tunnels. You hear the sound of something hissing in the background.
All right, guys, it's been Nick.
And Arnie.
Kirk.
And Steve.
And that's our episode for tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome to the house of BTS,
BTS.
where we all go supernatural.
I sound like a pubescent boy.
Count chocolate.
Good
Oh, the
evening.
count from Sesame Street.
One
podcast recording.
Two fuck ups on the podcast. Good evening and welcome to the House Beyond the Supernatural podcast, the podcast that goes beyond the supernatural. All music comes from verse 13, Shadow Symphony, and Public Domain. All printing for the podcast is provided by Rainbow Press of Omaha, Nebraska. More details about this podcast can be found on houseofbts.net. Tonight's cast includes John, the genius and archaeologist, played by Arnie; Peter, the parapsychologist, played by Nick; Cass, the psychic medium and astrophysicist, played by Kirk; and the host of the BTS.
You were doing great there too.
I know I was. God,
You were on a roll.
damn it, I was doing good.
Oh, he was doing great, but then he got the low in line, and
I forgot.
so you'll have to edit edit at a certain spot there. You'll hear it. Oh, will you hear it?
And the host of the House of BTS as the game master.
For a reasonable donation to the podcast, we'll send you a picture of his big dice.
I will show you my big dice.
And he will have them out of the sack.
It's got to be for a sizable donation for you to see my dice out of the sack.
Or you could just check out Instagram. They're on there too.
For free on Instagram. Oh, my Lord.
That's me playing with my big dice.
All I hear is that.
Oh.
Arnie's playing with his sack, I think. I saw out of the corner of my eye. He's playing with his dice. Arnie's toying with his sack. You don't even want to know what Nick's playing with.
I mess with things. It's just what I do.
He fidgets with junk. Let me tell you.
I'm going to leave that there.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one.
Not going to touch his junk.
But for a sizable donation to the
Wait,
podcast.
What's my PayPal password?
TV where they do the Jerry Lewis marathon for NDA or whatever. 1 whole week of us being on the air.
God. We're a 24-hour non-stop podcast.
That would take a considerable donation for us to even attempt a 24-hour podcast. We're all men of a certain age anymore, where staying up 24 hours was not as easy as we used to do, and trying to RPG at 24 hours straight.
That's true.
Even with smoke and bathroom breaks here and there as you would need for that, I have no idea. That would almost have to be like a unique demo one-shot kind of game, because from where that would start and where that would finish, honestly, who knows where something like that would end up.
Yeah, it's my
This
bedtime.
probably sounds like I'm selling it to some of you guys, so start the bidding.
It's my bedtime is in an hour and 15 minutes at 9 o'clock, so no, I can't stay up 24 hours.
In my younger days, certainly, but nowadays, I don't know.
36 hours straight, no problem.
We're 3 of the 4 of us are middle-aged, married with children individuals, and the one's just missing the one's just sans kid. But otherwise, he's just like us. So
When's that happening?
even that idea of 24 hours sounds pretty.
Never?
Hey, this is not the right place to ask such a question.
You said never?
But for a sizable donation,
We will find out if R never said if he wanted to have kids or not.
For a sizable donation, we will ask him that question right here on the podcast.
And I could stay up all night properly.
That's what she said.
Yeah, hey, good on you, man. And her. Wow. I was about to get back into it, but I got mesmerized by Arnie's ring spinning around.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. No, seriously, it was a good one.
What is this?
Did you bring 4 forks?
Or 4 burritos, for that matter.
Right. I'm gonna eat this.
That looks like a Qdoba to
Night
me.
dinner. It looks fucking amazing. Now, eat that real slow.
All right, good. Let's
Eat
get
it.
back on to this.
I want you to eat that burrito slow and sexy.
Put it up.
And then I want you to say, "My, what a lovely tea party."
Please discuss this while I eat my burrito.
More than likely, this will end up in the outtakes. Which, for a hefty donation, we will have him eating a burrito live for you all to enjoy.
I will upload it.
For a bigger donation, we'll actually make a burrito full
To
of
the
shit that
Facebook
he has to
page.
eat.
Strangely, Nick will be the highest bidder, to which he will say, "No, I do not want to eat this burrito." But hey, whatever funds the fundraiser.
Not like human poop. That's disgusting.
Yeah, we're not animals. Come on, sicko. Come on, we have some class.
What was that Roger Waters movie? The Pink Flamingos.
You lost me on that one.
Just watch the last 30 seconds of the movie Pink Flamingos someday. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
Divine eats. Yeah, no.
Well, that's that. And we'll leave it there.
It's a cat.
Yeah, sorry. And scene closed. play the outtakes.
Cat in heat.
I want that clip put aside as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Because that some monster mind's got to have that at some point, just because. In the background, you hear this. You'd be like, is it a monster or a cat in heat? You can't be sure.
Is it a monster in heat? Run!
Holy crap. I don't got to outrun that monster. I just got to outrun you two. He sounds desperate.
Maybe there's a teenager here I can trip.
Coincidentally, that's the guy he tripped in the cemetery.